and well, hello and welcome to today's video. We are once again doing a haul on the floor today, and Yuna has detected the fact that I am filming. Kinda see her, let's show her on the camera. She is, after all, the star. Not even like a minute into recording. Jesus Christ, Yuna. Anywho, today's video is a haul. It accumulates bits that I picked up across May and June. I did actually find myself leaving the house. I know. Actually leaving the house a fair few times over May and June, so quite a lot of these pickups are from in-store. I did also begin to start dabbling in the world of Vinted, so there's I think a couple of Vinted pickups and a couple of trades I've done with people on socials like Instagram. That's my nose, that's my finger, cat. As well as some manga that has been very kindly sent over to me by Yen Press quite a while ago. They're sending like one a month. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, Yen Press. And I've read pretty much all of them, so I'm going to try and talk through some of them with you today. As well as me doing hauls like this, it means I have actually had a chance to read some of these volumes. When I do unboxings, I don't as much. You can see I'm starting to build up some sci-fi boxes over here. I'm waiting on I think 2 more from a buying stream I did recently, and then I'm going to unbox that for a video. I also have a bunch of volumes here that I'm planning on doing another reorg video. I think I've hauled and done videos of all of this now, I want to say. I would love to get it away, and I don't want it to build up as horrifically as it did before. So hence why I'm trying to get stuff filmed. So I have this whole video, I have an August haul video, I have a reading vlog, I have an unboxing, I have lots of videos, so do check out my channel memberships for early access for all of that. And also join the Duda Discord server. There is a members channel where I talk more behind the scenes and videos and stuff and my plans and my thought process behind my plans if you're interested. And also remember to like and subscribe and all that. If you're not bothered about any of that, let's then just get straight into the haul. We have a fair few to go through. We're going to start off with some light novels that Ben picked up. Ben picked up volumes 2 and 3 of Eminence in Shadow. He has been wanting to read this, but it's a bit trickier to find volumes, / they're a bit more pricey because they're big, thick hardcovers. He has 1 and 4, and this is mostly just filling his gap so he can actually read it, I guess. Then, because when we were going shopping it was June, it was Pride Month, and Ben got really quite heavily into reading Pride reads. I do intend to try and do a wrap-up video with him, even though it is now August. Still gonna try and do it to get all his thoughts and stuff, but he like dived headfirst into reading BL and GL and all sorts, so he did start to pick up some Danmei light novels. So he picked up the first Heaven's Official Blessing, Ballad of Sword and Wine, and Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, and he has actually read this one, I want to say. And yeah, these were all 3 for 2 because Travelling Man now does 3 for 2 on 7 Seas, Airship, Ghost Ship, Steamship, anything 7 Seas they also do 3 for 2 on, so that's why he got 3 in Travelling Man. More thoughts on those will come in a future video when we get to filming it, I promise you. Next I got volumes 1, 2 and 3 of 10 Count. These were off Vinted and I'm quite happy with the quality, and because I went for post-it to a like shipping box container, I don't know what they're called, they're like boxes in places and you can have them sent there and you go pick them up. Because I sent it to one of those, I got a big discount or something for some reason. So it only cost me like £5 something for the set of 3, I want to say. And I think I have picked up some more volumes of it. I might only be missing like 1 volume, and it might be volume 4. Because for some reason I thought I had volume 4, so I didn't grab it in store. But I don't. So I have 1 to 3 and then like 5 and 6, I want to say. I then picked up 6 one-shot, I want to say they're all one-shots, Tokyo Pop BL. So we have Cherie, My Destiny, Platinum Blood, I'll Never Fall in Love with an Egoist, Sating the Wolf, Be My Love, My Lord, and Rooming with My 2 Lovers. And I swapped someone on Instagram for all 6 of these with some stuff off my swaps pile. Again, this was during June, so during Pride Month. I didn't actually get around to reading any of these though. I do really like the spines on Tokyo Pop BL. They've definitely improved them recently and they look so neat. I love the different designs, so I love collecting these. I do slightly want to collect these and put them on the shelves together, but that kind of goes against my advertising? I don't know. Okay, next we got some other stuff that I picked up in stores, I want to say, as part of A342. So we have got A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom, Volume 4. I don't know why it doesn't like focusing on the spines for some reason. It just does not like the spines. Reincarnated as a witch. A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom. I got there. I do like the mat. I am a couple of volumes behind on reading this, but I had quite enjoyed what I'd read so far. Maiden of the Needle 3. I have read this volume. I am up to date with reading this. I don't think this is an amazing series. I think it's quite pretty. That is a very pretty cover. I don't think it's an amazing series, and I was kind of bummed with where the plot began to go in volume 3. There are also a bunch of questionable couplings, I suppose, and some of the ways the characters interact is just a bit bizarre in my opinion. I enjoy parts of it. I enjoy like the needlework and the clothes making, that's quite nice to look at, but there are parts of it where I'm like, So I'm not sure it's one I would recommend, even though I do slightly enjoy it. Royal Tailor Clothier to the Crown Volume 1, a new release that I did accidentally slightly get a duplicate of. There is another video where I unboxed this volume and I am giving it away. I don't know timeline-wise if it's gone up before this one, but do keep an eye out for it. Saying that, I think it was okay. It's vaguely light-hearted and episodic. This woman makes clothes for the crown. I just realised we had 2 in a row with like making clothes and stuff. That wasn't on purpose. It's fine. So I would definitely say if you're interested in trying it, enter the giveaway so you don't have to pay for it. Which isn't really selling it, I know, I'm sorry. My Love Story with Yamanda Kun at level 999, volume 1. A volume filled with various controversies, such as the front page, and people had volumes where the pages weren't glued correctly, so they were falling out. It was quite interesting. There was a thread where someone on Twitter had gone up to Inklaw at a convention to ask some questions about the volume and some of the problems, and they did have some responses to some of them, and it was quite interesting, as particularly around the cover, where they said that they were vaguely reliant, I think, on getting approval on what the cover could look like, and there were things they could and couldn't do, and because of the licensing was a little weird, I want to say, might have been what happened, don't quote me. I believe they said the licensing for English was a little odd, and it was like there was a intermediary party in between Inklaw and the Japanese license holders, and it just made it a little bit more faffy. Hello, Yuna. In terms of the glue printing mistakes, they found out as ASAP, I suppose, and then tried to fix it, let manufacturers know that there was a problem. Mine is fine, it's held up okay. It's not too bad. What I quite liked is it does actually have pounds printed on it, which pretty much you generally only see with Viz currently. And also it's $9.99, which is quite nice because, oh, my nail polish matches. Aha! That's neat. Isn't that neat, Una? $9.99 is definitely on the cheaper end, unfortunately, currently for manga. I would say it tends to be Viz at the lowest at $8.99 for a regular volume, and then it's probably Yen Press at like $10.99. Usually $11.99 though. So seeing this on the lower end was kind of nice. I definitely feel it's probably a lower end in terms of quality, but as long as the pages don't fall out, I'm good. I did also vaguely enjoy the story. The whole story, I have read it. I thought it was quite enjoyable. I like video games, so some Misk other stuff that I picked up. I got She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat Volume 4. I think she approves. Is that the face of approval? Let me know in the comments. This was a really, really good volume. I'm sure if you've watched any of Lydia Moon's videos, you've seen her shout to the heavens and back about how amazing the series is, and I very, very much agree, and do also recommend that everyone reads this. Even if you're not normally massive on GL, I think there's a lot of interesting opinions and issues that are raised around women in society that I think are addressed really well in this series, even if, again, like, romance to the side, though the romance is also love... Do read it. Eunice says you must. Look at her. Next we have Witch Atelier 12. I do always love Witch Atelier. However, what I found with this volume is it's been a good hot while since I read volume 11. So some slight spoilers for 12 coming up. Currently we're in the midst of like a fight, and I find often with series with fights that split across volumes, I get very confused if... She is now headbutting my foot. I get very confused about fights that cross volumes and I don't follow what's happening, and that's kind of what happened with this one. I had absolutely forgotten things that had happened. I definitely wish I'd read 11 and 12 together, and I'm even slightly like, should I have just waited to get 13? But where is 13? There were some amazing moments in this. I'm flicking through and I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty badass, damn, that was good. So yeah, I don't think it was necessarily I didn't enjoy it, I wish I'd held off and read a few together instead of reading this on its own. But that's not necessarily just a Witch Atelier issue. I find it with just series where particularly fights or battles are crossing volumes and I'm like, what happened? Next we have volumes 4 and 5 of Moon on a Rainy Night. I haven't actually read any volumes of this series yet, but Ben has. Ben has read 1 to 3 and rather enjoyed it, so he was the one who actually grabbed these volumes when we were in store. I don't think he's read these ones yet. I think he was fairly careful to try and not touch my red shelf in case I forgot my red shelf, my to film haul shelf, in case he forgot to put it back, apart from the one Dan made. I don't know when he'll now get to these, but he did enjoy it and he said that I should try reading these as well. It seems quite popular in the Discord server as well. A lot of people love this. Fed up with being the spoiled queen's genius butler, I ran away and built the world's strongest army, volume 1. This, the best thing about this series is the title. It wasn't particularly great. You might not be surprised, but hey ho, I'll tell you anyway. Yeah, this guy is worked really terribly and treated really terribly by this person here, so he runs away, but actually he's like super OP and in the next kingdom is starting to like be noticed by people and do really well, and he's trying to work hard to be like noticed for himself, not just be this lady's lackey. I probably wouldn't recommend it though. Magie Lumiere, Magical Girls Inc. Volume 1. I haven't read this yet, but it looks like Magical Girls and it looks cute. And I generally do pick up I generally pick up Viz stuff. I pick up all stuff. Why am I trying to convince myself? I pick it all up. I am behind on reading a fair few volume 1s of Viz. I'm trying to do loads of catching up on my reading this month. In August we're doing a reading challenge and it has helped me so much. I've done so much reading this month already. I've already read more this month than I read in other months and we're like just over a week in. It's beautiful. I am very thankful and I do join the Discord if you're trying to tackle your TBRs because it has helped so much. But yeah, there's a bunch of Viz series I want to try and tackle this month and that's probably one of them. But I want to try and fill my holes and then put stuff away before I start pulling stuff out of the piles to read. March comes in Like a Lion 2. I have read volume 1, I haven't read my volume 2 yet. I wasn't completely blown away by volume 1. I found it a lot more down than I expected, and sometimes, particularly at the moment, I'm a lot more like sensitive with sad stuff currently, and I don't think I was like feeling jolly enough to read it, which I think is more of a me problem than a series problem, because I think it was, say, a well-written series. It wasn't what I needed when I read it. I've had a guy who is a shogi player, but he's also still in school and he like plays in his evenings and summers and stuff, I think. I don't think his parents are around and he kind of lives on his own and also is sort of looked after by this local nearby family? I can't remember now. Just remember going, damn, I feel a bit down reading this. So I think I'm going to hold off till I'm like in a much more better mental mood, so when I read this I can read it and think what I think about the series and not base it on my current emotions. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think I think sometimes people talking about series and whether something's good or bad, saying like, well, you shouldn't really think about your, like, how you feel, your emotions, it's just, is it good, is it bad? And it's like, yeah, something can be good and something can be bad, but obviously your emotions are also going to affect how you feel about a series, and it feels a bit silly to think or expect otherwise, particularly for most people, just random people out and about. I want to read a book that I enjoy. It doesn't actually have to be good. I just have to enjoy it. Please stop licking my toes. Next we have Master Keaton Volume 6, and this is the last volume we needed to be complete for the series, which just slightly I find insane considering how hard this has been to find. It is a first printing, so I wonder if it's more found stock or what, but Ben has been really enjoying reading Urasawa. I do need to read more. I think I've only read Asadora so far, but Ben has definitely been enjoying it, and Master Keaton has been on his hit list, so we've been trying to track volumes down, and we finally have the last one, so that is a series complete. I quite look forward to putting that on the shelf, because I do actually kind of like the spines, even though they're chunky and slightly plain. Okay, I'm gonna try and show these on camera and see how I do, because I am just like sat on the floor. I don't have a desk or anything, but we have got, oh gosh, nope, it's not going great. I've dropped them already. Look at that, we have a whole pile of what did you eat yesterday, and I am not showing it very well. Okay, we're just gonna do them one at a time. We have got Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, which is randomly really green for some reason, Volume 10, Volume 12, Volume 14, Volume 15, Volume 16, Volume 17, Volume 19, Volume 20, which is a wonderful cover and a wonderful colour of purple, shade of purple, and Volume 21. So I do already have a couple of random volumes, so with this I now have a clear run to 21, which I also think might bring me up to date. So the reason I decided to go crazy on the series and I picked these all up in Forbidden Planet Leeds was a couple of reasons. First off, they had all the volumes I needed. Second off, quite a few of the volumes, especially the early bunch, were actually still stickered at $9.99. So by doing 3 for 2, it actually worked out cheaper than buying online, and I was like, why not? And I was there with a friend who isn't really into manga, but when we meet up in Leeds, she's like, okay, I'll meet you at Forbidden Planet, and I'm like, I have to buy manga, and she's like, yeah, but you will. And I was looking at it like, I don't know if I should get it or not, but they have everything I need, and she went, yeah, just grab it, and then just started pulling volumes off the shelf, and I'm like, oh, okay, I suppose I'm gonna get it then. I hear it's chill and cozy and cute BL to do with food, and I do so love my series to do with food, so I am quite looking forward to getting into it. I'm hoping it's not serious at all, it's just light-hearted, cozy, and filled with food. That's like all I want from this, desperately. Next we have Community Doke 26. Someone on the Discord server found World of Books had a few volumes of this, so I nabbed this, and it is in pretty decent condition. It was about 3 for 2 price, I want to say. A step close to completing this series. I want to say I only need a couple of the last volumes and then I'll be complete, which is quite nice, especially since I'm only paying 3 for 2 prices or cheaper. Next we have Mobsters in Love Volume 1, published by Square Enix. Also, it's slightly chunky, which is quite nice. I loved this a lot. It's a BL, it's kind of wholesome and cute about this mobster who's like in love with his boss, and I love the dynamic, I love the silliness. It was just my kind of humour, everything I wanted. Excellent. Probably one of my highlight reads of the year so far. Really enjoyed it. And it was only $11.99, which surprised me. Square Enix, like, small size really varies with how much its RRP is. It is all over the place. I'm very thankful though. Condition Called Love Volume 8. Behind reading on this series as well. I think I'm only like read half the volumes I've got now. I do quite like it, and I look forward to binging a bunch of these together. I tend to find like slice of life high school stuff I find easier if I can read them together, because I start to forget who people are because they look too basic normally. But recently I've been doing a lot of binging regardless of genre, series, demographic, and I've just in general been enjoying it, so I think I might just start sticking to that kind of, unless it's like something I want to read right now. stick to that, like have a few volumes, build it up and read them together maybe. It's got 3 volumes of his favourites, 7, 8 and 10. As you can see, these were in the sale section in Forbidden Planet International Leeds. It is a BL series that I've just been picking up in sale sections. I have a random splattering now. I want to say I have like 6 or 7 volumes of this I've just found in about. No idea if it's good or not, but I liked that we had colourful spines, and that's why I started picking it up. Next we have Oshinoko Volume 6. I do quite like Oshinoko. I saw that there was some discourse around story that happens later in the series, but I have not gotten there yet. I have rather enjoyed reading this, seeing like the dark side of idols and stuff. Idols isn't really something I know much about outside of manga. I've not really engaged with say K-pop or J-pop or idols in like actual real world culture. How accurate the manga is, I assume it's just 10 times more dramatic, maybe. Hopefully. I've no idea. I have a few volumes behind. This is a series I would like to try and catch up on this month as part of my reading challenge reads. Next we have Marriage Toxin Volume 2. I was unfortunately not particularly blown away with Volume 1. I didn't find myself particularly interested, and I struggled to stick with it and get through the whole volume. But from what I have seen, I have so far been the only person who has had that opinion, so I am happy for that to just be this just isn't a series for me kind of series. What I think I might do is what I have done recently and just wait to have a few and read them all together to see if that might change my mind, see if I enjoy the series a bit more for that reason. Sakamoto Days 12, same again. Well, not quite the same again, because I have enjoyed Sakamoto Days so far, but I am very behind on reading it, but I'm going to try and binge a chunk of volumes that I've got. I think I got to like 3 or 4 and then fell behind. Everyone loves Sakamoto Days though. Everyone seems to love Sakamoto Days. This and Jujutsu Kaisen are 2 that I am very behind on, but want to try and read a load of volumes to get up to date with. 7th, Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy, Volume 5. Another series I'm a bit behind on. I can't believe I'm behind on like villainess stories. That does upset me a little bit. So this is probably another one I'm going to binge in the next few days. I don't think I've read my Volume 4, and now I've got Volume 5. Technically, it's not an isekai, it's a time loop. As you can see on the title, Time Loop, which is technically not an isekai, but it's like isekai adjacent, I suppose. Would you consider the new world that's created in the time loop a different world or not? I don't know. I'm not completely pressed enough to care enough. I do enjoy the series. I would like to try and find some merch of this series, I think, is what I would like to do. I need to remember that. Next we have My Hero Academia 38, and I actually read this volume this morning, just before filming this actually. So as I said, yeah, I'm trying to read big chunks of series to catch up as part of this reading challenge, and I hadn't realised how far behind I was on My Hero Academia. I was 4 volumes behind, so I read 35, 36, 37 and 38, wrapping up this one. I did realise though, it has now since completed and there are 42 volumes, which means all the reading I did last night and this morning I will do again and then it'll be complete, and that's kind of sad because I've been reading My Hero Academia for so long now and it's ended and I'm just gonna be sad. So sad. All these series I've been reading for so long are now ending. Yeah. I love this cover though. This might be one of my favourite covers. Toga on it. I'm enjoying the big fights, and I'm definitely enjoying reading them all together because I did not get confused and lost at what was happening. Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord. Production Magic turns a nameless village into the strongest fortified city. Volume 2. Yeah. I haven't read my Volume 1. I don't expect it to be good, but it's probably going to be something I enjoy. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily good. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, Volume 3. Now, Volume 1 was actually one of my favourite reads of 2023. I haven't read my Volume 2 yet, and I'm not sure if I want to read my 2 and 3, or I want to wait for 4 and 5 to come out. I think I read that it was only 5 volumes for the manga. I'm slightly tempted to wait to read them together. I haven't decided yet, but I have plenty of other stuff to read. By the time I actually make a decision, there's a decent chance 4 and 5 will be out. So the the decision will have been made for me. We are getting there. We are actually most of the way through. It might not seem that way, but we are. Next we have Kanibanashi Volume 5. I think I've actually hauled Volume 6 in a video before this one, which is how behind this video is. Another series where I think I'm the only one who's less fussed about it. A lot of people love the series and rave about it. There's recommendations in manga volumes for this series from other ones. There was a recommendation in One Piece to read it, and I'm like, balls, what is wrong with me? Why am I not bothered by it? I think it's another one where it's like, I don't think it's bad, I do think it's well written, and I have really found it interesting to learn about, oh, balls, what's it called? Rakugo? I don't know. Maybe it's another one where I'll read more together and get more into it and enjoy it. I love the gradients on the spines. Absolutely adore the gradients on the spines. A lot. Dark Gathering 6. This is probably a bit too of a spooky series for me, so like even though I'm slightly up to date, I'm not actually outright rushing to stay up to date. But if I need to make up a 3 for 2, I have been grabbing them to make a 3 for 2, which is I think what happened here. I'm just a big scaredy baby who doesn't like scary things, okay? But I must say the anime was much worse to watch than reading the manga. I properly like shat myself watching the first episode in the Discord. Ah! Moriarty the Patriot, Volume 15. Another series I am behind on, but wish to binge a bunch of volumes, because I really, really do enjoy the series. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I read too much to stay up to date with everything that I want to stay up to date with, but this binging has been good. Like, I can't believe it. I was behind on My Hero Academia by a year, and then I caught up in a night. But it was just so nice to read that way, so I'm not too mad at myself anymore. I'm going to tell myself I'm doing it on purpose. It's doing it for a reason. But I love Moriarty. I love a whole bunch of the other characters that are appearing in this. Big Sherlock Holmes fan in general, so I just, yeah. This is just I will get to it eventually. Next we have Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You 2. Another nice chunky volume by Square Enix. This one was, I hope, $11.99, considering it's $12.99, but that's not usually how it works. It often ends up being the same as the dollars. It's like, that's not how exchange rates work, please. I think this is a series where, unfortunately, the hype slightly killed it for me, because it had won awards and a lot of people were so excited to see it get print and it coming over in English and stuff, and I think just it ended up being hyped too much for me when I eventually got to reading it. And I really don't like it when I let myself be influenced by that sort of thing. It bothers me a lot. I want to be able to just read the series and be like, did I like it, did I not? But sometimes it's just not possible. It just, especially being around in like the manga community and such, and I think that's unfortunately what happened for me with this series. Volume 1, I have not read my Volume 2 yet, I must be honest. It's another one where I don't think it was necessarily bad, I found myself like I was pulling myself through the pages to read it, and I don't like when I have to feel that way. Wah. But also a lot of people do still enjoy it, so again, I do think that is a my opinion kind of deal. Progress, making progress. I have 2 small themed piles left, and then we're done. We have got Volume 6 of My Gently Raised Beast from Ise Press. I do love this series a lot. We're getting lots of drama. Oh yes, we also started to get a lot of backstory behind these 2 characters, especially like this guy and his race and his species and stuff around that. And it's just a really nice drama, fantasy romance, and I enjoy it. Shouldn't throw that in because it's heavy. Bloody Sweet Volume 2. It has taken me a good hot second to pick this volume up. It has been a while since it came out. I've just not managed to pick it up or remembered to pick it up. In fact, I'm fairly sure Volume 3 is out and has been out a little while as well. This is a manhwa, but I am interested that it is not under the Ise Press imprint. It's just the Empress one. One day I will find out the reasoning for why some goes under Ise Press. Ise Press, I've been pronouncing it wrong. I'm going to pronounce it correctly. Ise Press and why each goes under. It's probably just some form of contract regulation or something. It'll be something really boring that's like contract licensing. I'm like, damn it. Overgeared, Volume 3, also Ise Press. Gonna do better. This is a video game isekai and it's filled with stats, and it is just one of my favourite things ever. I love the logo for the series. I think that's wonderfully flamboyant, and this is a different colour, I believe, in each volume, which just makes things 10 times better. I haven't read my 3 or my 4 yet, but I haven't read volume 3, but I do think I have volume 4 on the way, so I might read 3 and 4 together, because binging has been my favourite thing recently. Not So Wicked Stepmom volume 4? Yeah, volume 4. I read 3 and 4 of this together. What I have really enjoyed is the discussion and the emphasis on family love, not just romantic love. There's a lot about being a family, and that's just been really lovely. So this guy's daughter is absolutely adorable, a gem. She is worthy. I love her. This is such a nice, wholesome series-ish. There are some dark topics. It's not completely wholesome. There are dark topics, but we're kind of like working through those, and that's the wholesome part. Jungle Juice Volume 4, and we've got a nice bright red for this one. I've enjoyed this way more than I expected, and I think the art caught me unawares as well. I've enjoyed that more than I expected. It's kind of watercolory and like generally a bit softer than I found so far in other manhwa I've read, I want to say. I was unsure at first because of bugs, but bugs are fine apparently. It's still a good series, and I look forward to reading more, especially because I've got 3 and 4 to read. Yay! Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint 3, the light novel manhwa. I haven't read volume 2. I read volume 1 and I was like, this is excellent. I can't wait to read more. And then suddenly 2 and 3 are out, and I think 4's out soon. This is definitely one I'm going to try and read this month, catch up with, reading 2 and 3 at least. I'm trying to convince Ben to read it, because I'm like, this is the power of light novels. This is why you need to read light novels, Ben, to save the world, or at least save us. Tomb Raider King Volume 7. I am very, very behind. I have quite a few volumes of this to read to catch up. I have really enjoyed what I read so far, so there isn't a particular reason that I've not read up to date yet. I need to just sit down with it, grab it, read it. It reminded me actually quite a lot of Solo Leveling, with like a really loose description, in that like dungeons are popping up and guy goes inside to sort them out. Damn, maybe this is another one I should just start reading, but I said I'd read this one too. This is my dilemma. There's always something to read. Uncanny Counter Volume 2. I think this is an East Press that I'm more uncertain of. I'm not sure if I enjoyed it yet. I'm not going to say I disliked it like some other ones, but there aren't actually that many I disliked. I'd say this is very much sort of in the middle, and I want to read more to decide. It's kind of like, there is another side where people who've passed on go, and some of them are trying to come back, and there is a group of people who are there to stop them, and this guy has ended up being recruited as part of that. Again, I didn't find it bad, I've not been blown away so far, so I want to read more first. Then we have Remarried Empress Volume 7. Damn. Volume 6 was really good. Volume 6, I believe, wrapped up the first season, I believe is what they're called. So this was starting off kind of like a new arc, I guess. First off, the spine is a gorgeous colour. I love the purple. I love the purple on the cover as well. Beautiful. And I really liked the start of this arc and what was happening, her trying to settle in and all that without being too spoilery. Absolutely recommend. In fact, along with Royal Taylor, I am giving a volume of this away in that video, which might go up after this one. It is up for members. I need to check the dates. But keep an eye on it if it's not yet. There will be. It will be coming. Okay, we are finally on the last stack. It is a small stack, and the last stack is volumes that have been very kindly sent to me by Yen Press. And I think I have read them all. So first off, we have Apocalypse Bringer Minogira. World Conquest begins with the civilization of Ruin. This is an isekai. It's like Civilization, as in the video game, Civ. As an isekai is kind of the gist of it, and the guy is playing an evil he's playing like an evil group. What's the word? Evil race. He's leading an evil race. Evil aligned, that might be it. I don't think it was like outstanding, but again, I kind of liked the Civ mechanics and how they were like talking about things. It is kind of darkish though, as he is a evil aligned ruler, so I would potentially keep that in mind. But if you're a Civ fan or a video game fan, Isekai, potentially recommend. I don't know when the next volume is out, but I did try and find it. I tried to find the next release date. Next we have This Monster Wants to Eat Me, Volume 1. This is it reminded me a little bit of the summer that Hikaru died, but it's a GL. I wasn't massively a fan. Again, as I said earlier, sometimes if I'm not in the right mind space, reading something that's a bit down, like, doesn't help. And I feel like this with this one. This one was definitely a bit more on the creepy side and a bit more down and sad, and I didn't overly enjoy it because of that, unfortunately. I'm not too sure if that's just I was in the bad place or it's the series. If you enjoyed Summer Hikaru Died, you might enjoy this, but I also wasn't a massive fan of that series, so I think this might be a not for me kind of series. Kind of a Wolf, which is a one-shot. It is actually set in the same universe as another one-shot BL put out by Yen Press called Fox Colored Jealousy, I want to say. I can't see it easily, but I think it's called Fox Colored Jealousy, and it is another pair in the same universe, and instead of a guy being taken over by a fox spirit, he's taken over by a wolf spirit. I did find I enjoyed this one more than Fox Colored Jealousy, but I'm still of the mind that one-shots often just aren't long enough for me to care for the characters too much, which is still what I unfortunately felt a bit with this one. But I still enjoyed this over Fox Colored Jealousy. So if you're going to try one, try this one. Unless you want to read them both, because technically I think Fox Colored Jealousy is set before this one, because those characters do actually pop up in this one, post that story. So if you're bothered about spoilers, read that one first and this one. The Wolf Is Not Scary, another one-shot BL. This is basically a Megaverse-ish, really, except instead of like the alpha, beta, omega hierarchy, we have got a predator, carnivore, herbivore hierarchy, and it is about a predator and a herbivore becoming close. Kind of cute, but once again, I felt the exact same thing in that a one-shot just isn't long enough for me to be too bothered about the characters. If you're less fussed about that kind of thing, you probably enjoy this more than I did. My Oh My Atami-kun Volume 1. I did not particularly like this volume. I didn't really like the main character. Is he trying to get better? He's trying to fit in, he's trying to make friends. I didn't like some of like the things he said, and they got passed over as like, oh, that's just him saying that. I also just wasn't overly massive on the art style, and I know art style shouldn't matter, but to me it does. It does make a series a lot easier to read if it's like a nice aesthetic art style, and I didn't find that with this one, unfortunately. Aria of the Beach Forest Volume 1. This was such a wonderful, cute series. I'm just gonna say I would absolutely recommend it. It's about a girl who is a witch in a forest, and she recently has lost her grandmother, who taught her to be a witch and was a witch herself, and has gained a little wolf friend to live with her, and it's just sort of her being in the forest and cute, staying, like, looking after herself, cooking food, accidentally running into locals. It's adorable and lovely and very pretty. I'd absolutely recommend this one. Your Letter, and this is a one-shot. As I've now said, I'm not normally big fans of one-shots, but I actually did enjoy this, especially by the time I got to the end. It is one I probably would recommend. I found it quite interesting. It was kind of a story around friendship and finding yourself, who you are, I guess. And it ends up with these two characters sort of following a string of letters to different, like, letters, not alphabetical letters, literal letters, following a string of letters across their school campus, I think, to try and get some answers. And I quite liked that aspect. I liked the little treasure hunt thing, and yeah, I was kind of surprised in the first half where I was like, I'm not too sure I'm bothered, and then got to like towards the end, I was like, actually no, I did enjoy that. So I think I would recommend this one. Senpai, This Can't Be Love. another BL one-shot. There has been a lot of them, like a lot. Why have there been so many? Is it because of Pride Month? This one I actually did also slightly enjoy. Same problem though, I just don't think we had enough content. I wish it was longer, but I did slightly enjoy this. It is a guy who goes to work, I think, at like an illustration video game place because he admires someone that he knows works there, and they end up getting close. Probably of the BL one-shots, this has been my favorite, I want to say, but I'm not sure like I'd rave or recommend any of them. They're just too short. Next we have Sister and Giant Volume 1. This was a little weird. I'm not really sure if I liked it. It is an isekai, so that at least gets a bonus point for that. But the premise was a little strange, and I got confused at first. There was a moment, in theory, between sisters that got a bit weird. I do think having someone mention it was sisters and like a religious nun-sister kind of relationship, not actual sisters, because otherwise it gets very questionable what was happening. This girl has passed away to end up being isekai'd, and now she is trying to hunt down her sister, who has also passed away and been isekai'd into this world. Along the way, she has sort of acquired a giant, and they, as a friend, but they kind of call each other, I think they call each other sisters, and they refer to each other in like a family way, and they're just trying to navigate to help find her sister, and also she's trying to find some answers around her family as well. It was a bit weird. I'm not going to rush to pick up more, but I will pick up more because isekai. Final volume in the haul, I didn't realise it was this big, gotta be honest, is Sinner of the Deep Sea. I really, really like this one. It is mermaids. It's very pretty. I absolutely love the first like short little prequel chapter, which is there's no talking in it. There's just some like panels to sort of say, hello, this is me, I'm in the sea, and I just think it's really, really pretty and shows off the world really well. And I think just the way the artist draws mermaids underwater and such is just really nice. It's a shame it's actually quite a short series. I want to say it's only like 3 or so volumes long, so it's also not that long if you would like to have a go at it. General plot is this is our main character and this is her friend, and her friend has ended up getting into some trouble and she is trying to get her out of trouble. So far is I think all that's really happened. I look forward to more, so I would recommend that one. Okay, so that is that haul done. That is like a misc May June haul. It has been a little weird because I've not actually recorded a video in like over a month. Not that you'll be able to tell because I filmed so many in a go and then spend a while editing them that you should never really see a break or anything. You shouldn't be able to know when I do and don't film my videos unless you're like, why is this a video for May and it's going up in October? See, I currently have about 6 videos to film in the next week or 2, so I'm doing another binge of filming at the moment. I'm looking forward to it. Though my throat hasn't been too best recently because we've had fans on because it's been hot and it's like dried out my throat. So I'm trying to drink so much water and honey and all sorts. If you're interested in early access, do be sure to check out my channel memberships, 99p a month. You also get fun emotes when I live stream, and there is a fun private Discord channel where I talk more about my videos and what's coming up and stuff. Remember to like the video and subscribe in general for lots more content. Otherwise, I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!